Alright guys, so I got my 2x6 ready, all sketched out. The way I got this sketch here is by using one of my templates. Okay, I have a template made of cardboard for the curved screen. There's a couple ways of making this template. You can use an uncut and lay it on its side and trace it down. You can use whatever deck you're riding. Or you could go to DIYskate.com. They have a template that's you can download for a screen printing press. If you go the DIY route, the DIY skate route, you're going to need to add about another inch on each side of your template, okay? Because you want it to be about 36 inches long. So that's step number one. Get everything down, get everything traced, get everything where you want it to be. And really eyeing that line. See if you need to make any adjustments on, like adding more. It's like you notice, like my template ended here, so I had to add a few more on each side. Okay, just keep that in mind. All right, guys. So I just cut my first side with the skill saw. So I'm gonna take this over to my bandsaw now and cut the shape out. If you don't have a bandsaw, you can use the jigsaw. My jigsaw sucks, so I'm about to throw this on the bandsaw and get this rough cut going. Alright, so I took the side I just cut. Now I want to make an exact copy of this one right here. So what I did, I put this on top of my other side of my 2x6 and I traced it out. But when I cut, I'm going to cut on this side of the line. I'm going to give myself about a 1/4 inch leeway here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach these two to my router table and trace it out with the router to make sure both of these are identical. So I have both my sides cut. To attach them together, I cut a 2x4 at 22 inches. Okay, and pre-drill some holes here. All right, so each side here is going to get 2 screws, a little bit of wood glue, a little bit of wood glue, 2 screws, vice versa. Each 4 corners is going to be done the same way, okay? So we just finished building our frame. Now I want to put the mesh on the frame, but you're going to need a couple items. Of course, some type of mesh, anywhere between 230 and 280. If you're printing a lot of white, you might want to go, maybe 200. A little bit of glue. Some type of ribbon style material, okay, stapler. I'm bougie, so I'm going to use my pneumatic stapler, scissors, hammer, and this is a little screen stretcher. You grab it by the edge and you pull it down, okay? So let's get started making this screen. Alright, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to attach this little fabric to the screen itself, okay? It's going to give my mesh something to grab onto, okay? So I'm going to start on the 4 corners. Sorry for the glittery ribbon. It's the cheapest thing they had at Michael's. So, like I said, it's just something for the screen to kind of latch on to a little better. Some people like to put their screen. Some people like to lay this on top of the mesh. I like to put it on first. That way, for me, it helps me follow the contour a little better. This is put on first. You'll see what I'm talking about here shortly. Old scissors. All right, so now we got the little, I don't know, fabric pieces, man, ribbon, like I said, something for the screen to grab onto. Once we have that done, now it's time to grab our mesh. Always want to stretch your mesh out. You want to make sure you have some overlapping on each side, okay? Because you're going to have to be pulling this mesh to tighten it up. You want to make sure you have something to grab onto. So I always start at the top. Now that I got my top, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Damn, this isn't dull. Alright, so now that I got the top, now I'm going to start running my staples down the side, okay? I'm pressing down on the ribbon itself so I can follow the contour of the screen. Grab my seat real quick. All right, well, here's where the stretching comes into play, okay? Now that you've got this top and this side stapled in, that's where this piece comes in handy. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start pulling this mesh down and super tight as I can go. I'm only gonna put a couple staples. Okay. I'm gonna work my way down. I'm pulling this corner a little bit and pulling down. Okay. Right here there's a wrinkle, so you want to stop your staple before the wrinkle, okay? Because watch what's going to happen. I'm going to grab this, I'm going to scoot this down, and I'm going to pull this over, and it just got rid of that wrinkle, okay? Bad thing about this, you run out of staples quickly. All right, I'm gonna rotate the screen, and this is where it gets fun. Notice that I've tension is pretty tight. Okay. It's not as tight as a regular screen printing screen, but you're gonna get some bounce. You don't want your screen too loose, but you definitely don't want your screen too tight. There you go, man. Got really good tension on the screen. Like I said, you can bounce stuff off of it. All right. Really good tension. It's really tight. It's going to register very well. Okay. So next thing, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run along the edges and I'm going to trim the excess. Right. Pull it and run your razor blade down the edge. Get rid of this extra mesh you don't need. Right. So two things. One, let's go around and like this one here. Any staple feels a little high, you need to beat it down. Beat them down, okay? You don't want any staples sticking out too far out, you know. Okay. Now that all that's done, now I'm going to apply the glue. Okay, this is regular skateboard glue, Type Bond 2, Type Bond 3, whatever you guys want to use. This is a little bit clogged up. Trying to get rid of this old glue in here. I'm gonna put a big glob of glue here. and I'm gonna rub it into the mesh, okay? Try not to get any glue above that wood line, okay? I'm just gonna add another layer. Mesh is actually gonna bond to the wood a little better with the glue, okay? Like I said, this is type bond 3, which is a little bit more, I guess you can say, water resistant. It's not waterproof, but it's water resistant. Oops. Alright guys, that's it. I would let this dry overnight. And you know, a thing about skateboard screen printing or screen printing in general, just make sure you are, you know how the whole process works with emulsion, burning a good screen. You know, before you mess with these curved screens, make sure you dial in your, your normal screens like this here, just a flat screen. Make sure you guys are dialed into that and familiar with the process. It's going to help out a little bit. But just make sure before you coat this screen here or whatever screen you're making, you need to degrease it, which is basically just getting some Dawn dish soap and scrubbing the screen front and back and washing it out and letting it dry. So make sure you get a nice clean mesh. I got a little bit of paint on here that should come out from when I painted my other screen, but for the most part, I'm very pleased with this one. You might have some wrinkles here and here, but you got to remember this is the area that you're going to be printing in, okay? So try not to get wrinkles in the middle. But so the next video I do is probably going to be the question everybody asks me the most: how do you burn an image onto a curved, how do you burn these curved screens? So if you don't mind, man, give me a like, give me a follow, and I'll try to do another video here on how to burn these screens here next couple of weeks. Thanks.